Joining us now is Avik, Senior Fellow at the Manhattan Institute, former healthcare policy advisor to the Romney campaign. Avik, good to have you with us. Grace Marie Turner, President of the Galen Institute. Grace Marie, good to have you with us. Dr. Mark Siegel, a member of the Fox News Medical A-Team, Professor of Medicine at NYU Langone Medical Center. Doctor, good to have you here.
Hello.
Let's start in that order. Avik, your reaction to the idea that most of this is Medicaid sign-ups and about half of it is enrollment, as best we understand the term from the administration, of about 2 million people. Does this sound like success?
Well, the blizzard of Obamacare is just starting, and it's going to be with us for a long, long time. On this point of enrollment, you said that 2 million people have enrolled in the exchanges. That's not actually true, because you're not actually enrolled in a health plan unless you've paid and until you've paid that first month's premium. And a lot of people, the vast majority, have not paid that first month's premium because the Obama administration is only now in the process of building the IT infrastructure that allows people to pay their insurers. So a lot of people are going to walk into Jan 1 and they're not going to have coverage. They're going to go see a doctor, think they're paying a bill, and they're not going to have coverage.
Just to be very clear, what I'm using is in a spirit of generosity and openness, using the numbers provided by the administration, expecting that there might be some qualification and some wrangling with facts later, which you have begun here tonight, and we appreciate you doing so. Dr. Siegel.
I wanted to take up on Avik's point because I have a word for it. I call it the undocumented.
Grace Marie, how concerned are you?
I'm hugely concerned, Lou. I mean, yes, there are going to be success stories. There are going to be people who get health insurance who needed it, but my goodness, we did not need to turn our $2.7 trillion health sector over to the federal government to solve those problems. Millions and millions of people have already had their coverage disrupted because they don't comply with all of the Obamacare rules, and tens of millions more people will. Why on earth did they need to create problems for so many people in order to solve it for the few people who couldn't get coverage before, that we could have solved through expanded high-risk pools and other state programs?
I want to turn, Avik, and I want to start with you on this issue of Medicaid, which is expanding across the country at a rate that is dramatic, doesn't even begin to express the explosiveness, the scale of the increase in Medicaid. What will be its impact?
Well, it's a good question to ask today, Lou, because just today, the scientific journal Science published new economic research that shows that, contrary to the president's promise, which was that the reason we have to have Obamacare is because all of us are paying higher premiums because uninsured people are getting free care through the emergency room. Well, it turns out that if you expand Medicaid, there's even more emergency room usage, because what happens is these people who are on Medicaid, they can't actually get access to a primary care doctor because a lot of doctors don't take Medicaid. So what happens? They go to the emergency room to get non-urgent care.
As many as half of our doctors don't take Medicaid. Just to underline the point that, by the way, is well known to Avik.
Yeah, so I think this study that just came out today that was published in Science, you're going to be hearing a lot about that over the next couple of days because it undermines one of the central rationales of this law, which is that we have to have Obamacare because more people will have insurance, there will be less free care in the emergency room, and our premiums will go down. Well, the opposite is true. Our premiums are going up. There's more inappropriate use of the emergency room, and therefore expanding Medicaid is a policy mistake.
And Grace Marie, the corporations, I will underline this again, bear tremendous responsibility here. They have broken the model. They have tried to run as fast and as far as they can from employer-sponsored health insurance. They have done so. Well, let me finish. They have done so, and at the same time now comes the suggestion that they're going to try to push everybody into what effectively will be a single-payer system. The American people are not going to put up for this. And my question to you is, does the Republican Party have the guts to stand up and talk about a rational, reasonable, effective alternative to employer-sponsored health insurance and Obamacare?
Well, you know, Lou, companies have been providing health insurance for their employees voluntarily for decades.
That's like
But
Grace
when the
Marie. Wait a
federal
minute,
government
Grace
puts
Marie.
so many
That's like
rules,
saying that corporations have so gracefully, if I may use the expression, been paying their employees for decades. You know, I'm sorry. Can we also stipulate that employees have so graciously been providing their labor and talent and energy to corporations for years?
Well, there is a huge tax incentive for employers to provide health coverage because it's tax-free on both sides.
Absolutely.
What we need to do in this modern economy, and I think you're going to see Republicans talking about this, is allow people to have that tax break directly themselves. So their health insurance is portable. They don't have to rely on companies.
That
and they don't have
portable
to
is
rely on the federal
another,
government.
if you will forgive me, that's another dog whistle for letting corporations lower compensation again in the interest of being internationally competitive.
That's not true, Lou.
Let me finish my sentence, and then you may, sir, do whatever you wish with it. In the name of being internationally competitive, now go get them, Avik, or in this case, go get me.
So here's the thing. So Grace Marie is absolutely right. The thing is this. However a corporation pays you, whether they compensate you through cash wages or through health insurance, there's an economic value to that, right? The tax code rewards companies right now for giving you a lot more of your compensation in health insurance than you actually probably really need. If that tax code was fixed, you'd actually have higher wages and maybe a skimpier health insurance plan, but a skimpier health insurance plan compared to the obese health plans that a lot of people have right now.
There isn't a corporation in this country that would sign up for what you intimate. No, you said it outright, that they were going to, would compensate more. Are you kidding me? Have you looked at the compensation in this country over the last
I got to get involved here. I got to say one thing about this. Listen, I kind of disagree with everyone here.
Good.
Because I think that health insurance should be based with the employer, but I also think that people need a disincentive for overuse. We need more payment out of pocket. We need more health savings accounts. We need more flexible spending accounts. Health insurance has gotten out of control. And your point is right, which is what Obamacare does, is it pushes it away from where it's actually worked fairly well to where it's not going to work at all in the individual market.
We want to give Grace Marie the last word.
All of the evidence shows that when consumers have more control over their health insurance, more visibility over the cost of that coverage, and more control, they wind up seeking better value for their health care dollars. That's the direction we need to go. Rather than all of these government mandates, all of these invisible restrictions on care, let consumers be able to make their own choices and let the market respond to them, and they're only going to do that if they have the money and they get the tax incentive directly to shop for the best policy that suits their families and their own needs.
And I assume you mean by that they have to pay more of the price of health care.
I don't think so. I think that you're going to see that the market will respond.
Then I don't think it works, Grace Marie. If you don't mean that they've got to pay their way, I don't think then we have any sensitivity, any responsiveness, any elasticity then within the health care market itself, and it fails.
They're paying for it either way, Lou. They're paying for it either way. It's either coming out of their paycheck.
But they're immune from the prices. They don't know the actual prices. They're variable all over the place. There's not enough skin in the game here.
See, you and I are making so much more sense than Avik and Grace Marie.
There's so much opportunity for changes and incentives to get to more efficiency in the health sector, and we're never going to get that if everybody's
We're going to get there because we've got great political leaders in Washington, Grace Marie, and they're going to lead us to the promised land. Avik Roy, thanks for being with us. Grace Marie Turner, Dr. Mark Siegel.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you,
Thanks,
folks.
Lou.